LinkedIn is one of the most essential resources for all international students. Doesn't matter if you have come this year, last year, if you're looking for a job internship, or if you're planning to switch your jobs and you're still looking for an option. LinkedIn is crucial for all of that. Let's review what makes a good LinkedIn profile and what you might be missing out, what you can improve, and some of the hidden features which you might be ignoring altogether. I'm going to jump into my screen and show you and share what I've done to optimize my LinkedIn profile for the best viewership. As you can see right here, this is my LinkedIn profile. This is how it looks like. I can go and look at it as a public view. But what I've done is I've shown that I'm from Purdue University. If you are from a great university, you can put that picture right up here in the cover page, or you can leave it blank. I don't recommend you to leave it blank. I always recommend somebody putting a picture of something they believe in. If you're a data science person, business analytics, construction, I can switch this picture with a project picture of mine as well. As you can see, I have a very clear picture of mine. Let's say I'm looking at these 5 pictures right here. You can see Annie, Atul here. I can see their picture more clearly as compared to Nachiket, who has a very not solid background. Raj's picture is also good, but Ela's has some stairs in the background. The picture doesn't look that as good. So let's say I want to go to Atul's profile and look at other people pictures as well. As you can see, Jody's, George, Ashwin's picture is nice and clear, whereas Ram's here has some stuff in the background. We don't like that at all. We go back to my profile, and as you can see, I have a clear picture. I've written, what am I? I'm a project engineer right now, or a project manager, whatever your job title is. I'm a civil engineer by my degree, and I'm a higher education expert by sharing my knowledge to all of the students who are going for masters. I have my location mentioned here. If you are from India and looking for jobs in the US, I would still put the state you go to the college for, or you just look at or put at United States, San Francisco, where you're looking for positions at. Because if I'm a recruiter, I'm looking at where is this person going to relocate from. I'm gonna be looking at this location right here. Next thing you need to be updating is your about. Even if you mention that, hey, I'm a project engineer right here, I would still need to know a little bit about you, which your CV is not showing. So I can say that, as a project engineer in this current role, I'm writing this paragraph as a third person. I'm writing that Parth manages an efficient communication and document flow. After work, Parth has a YouTube channel. So I'm sharing both of my work features. I'm sharing that I'm a construction manager, and I'm also sharing that I'm a YouTuber right here. I would 100% recommend that you put something down in your featured section. You always have to have your resume. You also should be adding any kind of projects which you have done before. There was a podcast I listened to called WTF by Nikhil Kamath, and he had a bunch of people from the gaming industry come on. One of that person, he works at a company who created PUBG. And what he was telling that, hey, if we're looking for people, we're always looking for people to show their work. Always show your work. So if you have any website, if you don't have a website, I would recommend you make a web page of yours and show all of your projects which you have done. Show your work. Show what you have done before, because you might know who you are. Your peers might know what you have done before. But if a recruiter is coming to your profile, if a person you are reaching out to is looking at a profile, they are looking at you here. This is your showcase. You need to be adding things in your featured section. So in case for my wife, she's an optical engineer, she would be putting here what kind of projects she has done before and put that in this section. So as I can mention, I have a video LinkedIn explain. I should change it to make it more construction management, but I'm going to be updating that soon as well. Now, leaving activity, if you're stalking someone, if you're reaching out to someone, activity is a great place where you can go and check what they're sharing, what they're talking about. We're going to talk about it in a second. Moving on to your experience. So as you can see, while I was looking for jobs back when I was at Wilming Construction, I added all of the things which I did at Wilming. So whatever projects I did at supply fire station, the superintendent, what kind of projects I did, I added some of the pictures speak 1,000 words. That's what it says, right? So I would always add the pictures of your projects, whatever project you've done. Even if you are building an app, I would add the screenshots of that app. Why? Because people love pictures, man. Like in the industry, doesn't matter in that not in the industry, people love to see what you're doing. Rather than reading this, I would always look at, okay, this person's built this office, this person has built this fire station. Very cool. He might have some experience with ground up buildings. Same with my internship. When I was doing my internship, I wrote down what was my job duties were, and what the project entailed, and then of course I also have a picture on what the tunnel looked like. So these things are very important. It might seem minuscule to you, but it's very important. And I've added all of my experiences before as well. What I was doing as a trainee, what I was doing as a summer trainee before, and added it as a checkpoints, because checkpoints are much easier to read than reading a whole paragraph, right? I have all of this, and let's say I want to update my DPI constructions as well. So I would write down what I've done as a project engineer. I would write down what I've done as a VDC project engineer, and which I have to update. I haven't really updated it because I'm not looking for jobs right now. Then you have your education. I have added my graduation picture as well, just for the kicks, right? My building construction management degree, and then my civil and infrastructure engineering degree. I have pictures with my thesis advisor and with my academic advisor. And then I also have a graduation picture for pretty. For your licenses and certifications, you can add all of them. I don't have that many licenses, but if you have any licenses for Procore, for safety, I have OSHA 30, which I can put here as well and add it for record. Volunteering, if you have any volunteering experience, adding pictures always help. I have, like, as a content creator, I volunteer my time to help out students. I've mentioned that. There's also skills. You can add a bunch of skills to your profile. So I have project management, scheduling, risk management, logo design, creative solutions as skills. I don't know who's looking at it, but what happens is when you have a profile as a recruiter, you can choose what skills you want in a person. And if you haven't added the skills, I would recommend adding them, because when they're shortlisting the profile, these skills will help you stand out. These skills will help you being filtered when the recruiter is looking for you. Some of the courses I've taken, I've mentioned here as well. Go to the job section. So if you go up here, you can see there's home, there's my network, and there's jobs. I would go into the job section and I would start looking at what all things there are. As you can see, there's like a bunch of jobs which LinkedIn is recommending. I would still apply for these jobs. But what I want to highlight here is that there is my jobs, there's preferences, and there's interview prep, which could be very important for you. As you can see in interview prep, there's options, right? Like, tell me about yourself. People have put down what could be a great answer for it, where you are looking for influencers or where you're looking for other videos on how to answer tell me about yourself. LinkedIn, people have recommended what answers should be giving when somebody asks you what tell me about yourself, and you have like 4 answers here. So you have a bunch of options and you can curate your own answer when it comes to tell me about yourself. Why do you want to leave your current role? More answers here. Describe your most challenging project. Maybe this is not very relevant for you, right? But you can, if you have somebody with no experience, if you're somebody with no experience at all, you can still make up some challenges in your academic role. And recruiters are not really looking for like a big challenge you solve. They're looking for your ability to find answers. They're looking for the ability to critical think. They're looking for even the small problems you might have when you were going through your academic program. So highlight those academic things and don't hesitate to mention small wins as well, because not everybody is going to have big wins when they're just getting out of college. Another feature which I would like to tell you is, of course, the LinkedIn Premium. LinkedIn Premium gives you a few things. For example, LinkedIn Learning is a great option. As you can see, this is what LinkedIn Learning looks like. There's Creators Guide for Repurposing Content, because I make content. There's C++. There's AI coaching. Let's see. I want to make a resume. I want to learn about resume, right? So I'm gonna go into resume and then I'm gonna do a resume makeover. As you can see, went through the writing a resume, 30-minute resume refresh. There are a bunch of courses which you can go through for LinkedIn Premium. You can always get 1 month of LinkedIn Premium for free and go through all of this and improve. My recommendation to you is that even if you get one good thing from these courses and you can incorporate that into your resume, it's amazing. That's what you would want to do. Let's look at some of other people's great profile, right? Like there's a guy called Varun. Let's see if we can find his profile. There's Varun Negandhi. He helps immigrants finding jobs and everything, right? So his LinkedIn profile has to be updated to the top because if he's selling himself, helping out finding jobs, he needs to make sure that his LinkedIn profile reflects that. So as you can see, very clear picture, a good cover photo sharing, where he has been featured, what he's been sharing. As you can see, I help US immigrants finding their next job. Um, his locations mentioned, um, what his top skills are, job search strategies, networking, interviewing, etc. Finding a next dream job, he has mentioned what his about is. Uh, then he has a featured section where he's sharing his job search and cheat code. And then he has his experience. He is a founder for Beyond Grad. He worked at Engineering Sim Corporation. He has his education. When he was working or he's still working at Engineering Sim Corporation, he has mentioned what he was doing and his job duties, as you can see right here. And then he also has his licenses and certification skills, networking organization. So I want you to update your LinkedIn profile like this, where each and every thing has been clearly mentioned. Because when you're reaching out to somebody, let's say I'm already connected, I'm reaching out to, let's say, this Jane person, right? I'm sending a connect request to this person. I'm gonna add a note. I'm gonna say like, hey, Jane, you and I align in a lot of ways regarding helping out international students succeed in the US. Would love to connect and have you in my network. That's it. That's the kind of note I would add when I'm sending somebody an invitation. I'm not going to send an invitation right now. Might as well let me send that invitation. So what happens is that since I've added a note, it will be easier to see that this person has put in effort connecting with me and she's more likely to accept my invitation. Same thing when I go into my network and people have sent me a lot of invitations. My easiest filtering criteria is who has put in a lot of effort into sending me an invitation. So I'm gonna go in and see who has sent me an invite with a note. So this is Arun from Bangalore. I'm looking for masters next year and I attended your webinar 2 weeks ago. So he has a touch point with me. He attended one of the webinars I did 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna add him as a connection. And as you can see, I can very clearly see that he's an artificial intelligence, machine learning, computational science analyst at Accenture. When you're sending somebody a connection request, they can only see so much, right? Like aspiring student at this university, actively looking for summer 24 internships. This is really good. Actively looking for summer 24 internships. MSc student at University of, I would say MSCS and University of XYZ, so that I'm able to see what university this person's going to. MSCS grad at Syracuse, and I would add looking for internships for 24. Because if you're sending a note to some recruiter or to somebody at a different company, you can only see this title right here. I talked about a lot of things. One last thing I want to talk about is whenever you're applying to a job, let's say I'm applying to this sunrise engineering, project engineering job, modify your resume according to what they're asking your job duty would be, right? So this person who has to design and supervise construction projects, estimate cost and personal material needs for the project, may work individually or participate as a part of the team. So I would modify my resume according to the job duty. I want to apply to. Why? Because then you are able to go through ATS way better, and you are able to, as you can see, skills also, add these skills to your resume or add these skills to your LinkedIn profile. That will also help you get shortlisted for jobs. That's it. What are the questions you have about LinkedIn? Let me help you. Just comment below and I'll see what I can do the best for you. Thank you so much, guys. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.